Dr. Seamus here, and I'm going to be addressing hypothyroidism and Hashimoto's thyroiditis here in this video. And we know that with hypothyroidism, this is just underactive thyroid functionality, low production of T3 and T4 thyroid hormones. And the Hashimoto's is an autoimmune manifestation of this, where we have underactive thyroid, our own cells attack our own body and thyroid, and so we can see a variety of different symptoms manifest with this. So we see things like constipation, dry skin, cold sensitivity, slow thought, slow movement and motion, just lethargy, fatigue, hair loss, weight loss. All these different things can accompany a case of hypothyroidism. And so when we take a look at overall cause and we go actually more upstream, it really can point to a lot of gut compromise being really one of the biggest factors in hypothyroid cases. And so when it comes to the gut being sealed up, it normally has nice tight junctions like this. But through a variety of different things, stress, inflammatory foods, it can actually open up. And you can see that it's kind of like a fishnet then. Different proteins, toxins, and antigens can slip out, get in the bloodstream, and cause issues elsewhere in the body. And here we see this can very much so impact and influence the thyroid gland. And so when we're looking at a rock solid diet to help get some of these issues and these symptoms out of the way and revamp the system so that the thyroid hormone is optimal, we're going to want to make sure we're getting things out of the way, like a lot of the gluten-containing grains, the conventional dairy products, different hydrogenated oils, certain refined sugars. All of these can be very toxic to the gut, create more permeability issues, and directly influence just negative functionality of the thyroid. And so instead, a few things we want to focus on are going to be probiotic-rich foods and fermented foods. Okay, things like sauerkraut, kimchi, goat milk, kefir, tempeh. Some of these foods can really help colonize the colon with beneficial bacteria, crowd out a lot of the harmful bad strains of yeast and candida and bad bacteria, and so really revamp the gut and recalibrate it properly in that way. Also, things like bone broth that have a lot of collagen. Collagen is a great supplement as well to help bolster the gut lining and prevent a lot of permeability issues in that regard. And then even just healthy fats too are going to be great to incorporate. Coconut oil and coconut products, avocado, chia, and flax seeds, which also have a great source of omega-3s and alpha-linolenic acid. And walnuts, almonds, ghee can be a good clarified butter, can also be beneficial for the gut. And so also clean, lean protein options, okay, organic turkey and chicken, wild-caught salmon, grass-fed beef, and then certain carbohydrates too. I typically recommend things like sweet potatoes and squash, and then maybe a little wild rice and quinoa as well. But these are going to be healing foods to really help seal up the gut, as well as get a lot of that kind of overgrowth of bacteria out of the way. And this is a huge step in overcoming thyroid issues. As far as supplements go, a variety of supplements are very great at helping to recalibrate the T3 and the T4. And this is going to be things like selenium, ashwagandha, as well as withania. And by the way, this is also known as an adaptogenic herb, so it can be very helpful in alleviating a high stress level, so it can decrease cortisol, but also balance out T3 and T4 levels. As well as things like bladderwrack, which is actually seaweed, and it's a demulcent herb, so it's going to lower inflammation, and also coleus. And all of these different herbs are really helpful at balancing T3 and T4 to maintain proper thyroid functionality there. I would also throw in B vitamins, especially vitamin B12, for its role in cell homeostasis, and we know the proper cell cycle in the body, cell functionality is going to be critical for overall thyroid functionality as well. So these are some of the top herbs I would recommend, as well as a dietary protocol, and just a little mention too of some of the most inflammatory foods for the gut that would be best to be alleviated and avoided from the diet. But again, when it comes to thyroid issues, this is really an internal issue at the gut level, where when there is some sort of gut compromise and permeability there, it can directly cause issues to the thyroid gland, which then can disrupt so many other metabolic processes in the body, and we see all these different symptoms start to manifest. So as far as tackling thyroid issues, we need to look at the gut first. And so I think if you can follow this protocol and this healing diet, you're going to see tremendous advancements in overall fatigue. So that's going to be kicked to the curb. You're going to have more energy, just feeling overall better well-being, elevated mood, and just a lot of these symptoms being avoided with the dry skin, the constipation, the weight gain, all that kind of stuff. So my recommendation to you, see if you can maybe make some tweaks in your diet to where you may need to incorporate some of these more healing foods or get some of those inflammatory foods out of the diet. And I believe you're going to take your health to a whole new level and see many, many positive changes when it comes to thyroid functionality. So guys, this has been Dr. Seamus talking about hypothyroidism and how to overcome it.